So I wanted to talk. So here's what I'm talking about. First thing first, DoorDash is a big time gang stalking company. I just want to throw that out there. Uber Eats, Uber, okay, they gang stalk heavy, and you don't see a lot of those videos because YouTube and Google censors them. They put your videos. If there are people with websites, they make sure that your website and your web search never, if somebody searches, you could easily find it, but Google and YouTube make sure that, no one ever finds you. But DoorDash gang stalks, I was reading through this guy, a friend that I met on YouTube. He's a fellow targeted individual. His name is DB. And he had a guy named Omar in his comments say that he was a DoorDash driver, and while he was driving for DoorDash, that they reared him off the road and he crashed. They did the same thing to me when I was driving for DoorDash. They have the Stingrays and they have the Pegasus, and what they do is they follow you around. That's why they follow you around, because they make it seem like anywhere you go they could hack you. But the thing is, there's a person inside of a vehicle with this technology using it on you. You got to really look at the patterns of what's going on, because if there's nobody near you, you're doing just fine. So I was working for DoorDash, and they were following me all the time and jamming my signal so that I would get lost. But not just that, even within the DoorDash app, in the beginning I was able to use the GPS from DoorDash, but eventually, like once they started gang stalking me hard, the app stopped working. So I had to use Google Maps, and this is how I knew that Google gang stalks, because Google would mess up the GPS. I had used Google GPS my whole entire life, and when I was doing the DoorDash and they were gang stalking me hard, it just stopped working. It would send me far away places, and it's a good thing that I kind of like know the area, because I would be totally lost. DoorDash, they participate in gang stalking. Uber Eats, Grubhub, Uber, Lyft, all of them participate in gang stalking. Okay, so I'm gonna throw that out there. If you're targeting individuals, better to cook your own food, because these people, they will purposely tamper with your food. And another thing, when you are a gang stalker, these people, they get used and they go to jail. So they're not like scot-free, They get used by the government or whoever these people are. And if they get in trouble, they're not going to be like getting off scot-free. You're going to go to jail, or you're probably going to get killed. And then it just is what it is, Like, you're not exempt. You're a pawn. And, pawns are easily disposable, unfortunately. So that's one thing. Next, these people gang stalk everybody. They like to indoctrinate children by making all the children of society become sexually assaulted or abused in some form or fashion. I remember when I was in college, I was, listening to a lot of people's stories. We had this class, and there was like a time where we all went in a circle and we were talking about our lives and stuff. And two stories stuck out to me. One, this girl, she was living with her grandparents. She was a mixed race girl, Dominican and Haitian, but she had to live with her grandparents for some reason. And the grandfather was sexually assaulting her from like the age of 5. And when she finally built up the courage to tell her grandmother told her that she needed to shut up and just let him do what he wanted to do. And my grandma was the same way, with me. When I told her what my ex was doing, she was like, well, maybe he didn't molest a child. Maybe he just, showed him some porn. And I'm thinking to myself, how stupid could you be? In what fucking world and universe is it okay to even show a child sexual content, and you think to yourself, oh, it's just porn? The child's 3 years old, you know what I mean? So that was a really weird story, because like I said, any person who's watching this, you probably were sexually assaulted or knew someone who was sexually assaulted. That is how the game is. They put this on us. They give us trauma in order for us to inflict the trauma, in order for us to repeat the cycle, because a lot of people who have had the trauma put on them, they repeat the cycle. Like my ex, he's a stupid idiot. His mother fucking raped his ass, and he turned around and raped his own son. He's a fucking stupid ass. And he's gonna pay for what he's done. But that's one pattern that I've noticed within the gang stalking. Another thing I've noticed is that, like I said, nobody's exempt. This girl, she was working for American Express credit cards. She's not even a girl, she was a woman. And her story was so fucked up, you couldn't even believe it. First thing first, her man and her sister were perping her because, like I said, every bad thing that's ever happened to you in your life, they orchestrated it. So she was dating a white guy and things were going really, really good. She was a black girl. And her own sister was fucking this guy in their house. And I don't know, she was at work and she came from work early and she found them in bed together. These people know your route. They watch you everything. So they could have told the man what was going on, but they wanted him to get caught. They wanted her to probably whoop somebody's ass and go to jail, or they wanted to see what would happen. Let's put them in a fucked up situation and see what she does. And you could tell she was a TI just because her family, again, same thing like my family. My auntie and uncle, they were murdered. That's what I say. They was vehicular manslaughter. But when you know about how they do things with the sacrificing and stuff like that, they always use a car accident. They tried to do me like that back in last year, June. This girl, her father was driving trucks. Like I said, with the Freedom Convoy, a lot, if not all truck drivers, they're all in some sort of secret society, Mason bullshit, paganistic stuff. And the dad probably was too. The dad was a fucking raging whore. He had fucked and cheated on the wife for many, many years, had a lot of kids. The lady was in her 40s, and she had a 1-year-old brother, and the mom had enough, and the mom asked him for divorce. And he just came from the road driving the truck, and the mom had the divorce papers, and she said, here's the paper, can you sign it please? And he was looking over the paper, and he was like, okay, I'm gonna sign it. And just as he's about to sign the paper, he gets a knock on the door. Hold on, here's a little backstory. The dad goes to the gas station on his way home from his last delivery. When he's at the gas station, a Crip or Blood or whatever he was, like a teenage kid, they said, we want you to get this guy. So as the guy is driving home, the teenage kid follows him home, and while the guy is about to sign the paper, they get a knock on the door, and the guy says, hold on. When the guy opens the door, the kid shoots him right in the head or the face, point blank, period. And he goes to the hospital, and he probably could have lived, but he had a do not resuscitate order. So, therefore, he just had to die. This man was in that society, for sure, because he was definitely a truck driver, so I'm pretty sure he was in that little, whatever they were, in. And it didn't matter that he was doing, a gang stalker and doing the gang stalking work. In the end, these people fucking had a young kid in a gang. Can you imagine a gang stalker being shot by a goddamn gang? Hello? So this guy gets shot in the face, point blank, period. And he has a lot of, he had a nice insurance policy and all that kind of stuff. And, the lady was able to cash out, thank God. She wasn't that sad, I'm pretty sure. But the thing is that the gang stalkers get gang stalked. My ex, he's being gang stalked as we speak. Like I said, I have known for many, many times of him being gang stalked. Like, many times we'd be on the road driving and someone would almost like crash us off the road. And they always were in a white car, coincidentally. They are always in a white vehicle, and you don't notice things until like right now. You're just like, wow, they were always there, It's very weird shit. But yeah, they gang stalk the gang stalkers. Can you imagine? It's hard out here. The price of living has gone up. Rent is gone up significantly. Insurance gone up significantly. Groceries, gas, and your wages is still the fucking same. And just to make ends meet, you literally got to gang stalk. You know, you can't survive out here unless you have a dual income household, meaning you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, or you know, you and your sister living together, or you got a roommate. But you can't. It's almost impossible to live on your own unless you got a really fucking good job. You know, it's just crazy the way that they fashion things. You know, it's very crazy to me. They gang stalk. You know, you think you're in a society, and you know I'm good because I'm in this society. I have these things, but the very motherfuckers in your society be setting you up and gang stalking you too, bro. You talking about a loser. These people are, it's equivalent to, you ever been in high school and then there's a cool girl and then she has a clique and she always has like a few girls in a clique that are very beautiful, but she always just talks shit to them and make them feel dumb, and put them down, you know. That's what it's like. Just to be down with the society. These people, like, they literally, I be seeing, you don't know what I be seeing. I done lived through some things, baby. I done saw a black man and a black woman dressed like Aunt Jemima. So Aunt Jemima slaves. And I couldn't understand what they were doing. In the beginning, they would always do that, have people dressed like fucking Aunt Jemima and slaves and shit like that, because they were telling me, like, bitch, slavery is still real, ho. You just ain't know it. Bitch, this is a class system up in here, ho. You better get in line. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, it was weird. But that was all when I was driving for DoorDash. DoorDash is not a good company to drive for, because if you're a targeted individual, they will give you the worst deliveries. If you're targeted individuals, I'm pretty sure a lot of your orders get canceled. That's the thing. That's the irony of it. Gas prices high now. Nobody even want to drive. I bet right now if I Google DoorDash and Uber, them bitches is down bad. You understand what I'm saying? They never thought gas would be going high. But that's how God worked things out, 1 minute you out here participating in gang stalking, next minute gas and inflation. Now nobody really want to drive for you. So that's how the cookie crumbles, they say. But yeah, gang stalkers get gang stalked. DoorDash, Uber Eats, Uber and Lyft, they gang stalk. And yeah, these people are losers.